Mr. Chong, your mic is off.
Sorry. Good afternoon. Welcome aboard. Let's start. Okay, the question here is what should the executor be doing when the testator pass away? Okay, it depends on who is the executor. For example, if family member or individual is the executor, the family member need to take out the original will, okay, that the testator have written. And the first thing that the testator need, the executor need to do is to do a will reading. Will reading is to make known to them that the father or somebody has passed away, and he is appointed as the executor, and he will mention the distribution of the asset. Most importantly, who will get what. Money in the bank give to who, share by 5, car give to son, whatever. Okay, and everybody is made known of their gift under this estate. And as an executor, he also need to tell the beneficiary roughly the time frame for them to get this thing. Okay, so meaning to say that A will know that he got a house, roughly it will take about 6 months or 9 months or whatever. But as an individual executor, sometimes it's very difficult to tell them the time frame because they are not experienced. Whereas in the case of a rock will as an executor, rock will will mention to them that what's the time frame, roughly that you will get your car by what time, or by what date, or by what month, for example. So this is the role of the executor the moment and the testator pass away. The first thing is will reading. The second thing what he need to do is he has to locate all the asset of the deceased. Meaning to say he has to go around to the bank to get the bank statement, the latest statement. He has to go around to all the government authority, for example, the CDS account. He has to go to the MCD to get the latest statement, what share this person has. He has to go down to all the unit trust company to see whether there's any unit trust that is what they call that, left by the deceased. Once you get all these documents together with all the grant for the immobile property, once you get all these things properly, then the executor need to look for a lawyer. In the case of individual, definitely we look for a lawyer to apply the document called grant of probate. Similarly, in the case of rock will is not a lawyer firm; it's a trustee company. So rock will also need to look for a lawyer to apply the grant of probate. And in the case of the rock will, normally rock will will recommend one of the panel lawyer to be a lawyer to apply the GP. And once the GP is put in, the petition is put in, then the court will have a hearing, and the individual executor will have to appear in court, And similarly for the rock will send representative, one of the manager to be there for the hearing. And after the hearing, the grant of probate is extracted, then the executor will need to do those distribution, paying tax, and all the stuff. Okay, that is basically what executor need to do when the testator pass away. Thank you.
All right. Okay. Thank you, Mr. Chong. And then for the second question is that can a blind person write a will?
A blind person writing a will? Yes, a blind person can write a will despite the fact that he cannot see. So in this situation, the will that is written for him need a translator, and the translator need to read to him, and he satisfied the distribution or whatever, then only then he sign either via his thumbprint or his signature in front of 2 witnesses. So a blind person can actually write a will, and because he can still hear. All right, thank you.
Okay, after saying that they can use a thumbprint or what, so if a person wish to use a thumbprint, which hand he must use, on left or right hand?
Generally practice is use the right thumbprint, unless his right thumbprint has no more lines, really some old ladies or uncle, they might have no more line on the right hand thumbprint, then use the left one. But when they put in the thumbprint, it's very importantly that the wheel writer or the estate planner must write beside the thumbprint say RTP, right thumbprint of so and so. On everywhere there is a thumbprint. Yeah.
Okay, all right. So another question is saying that can a person sign the will with a different signature than his normal signature, like used for those bank's account, those kind of signature, different from the bank's account signature on the will?
The signature is different from the one that he used to sign.
Yeah, correct.
You see, in fact, signing of the will has to be done in front of two witnesses. So it is not that the testator must sign in his usual signature. For example, he used to sign this way for the bank account, and now he signed a will. He cannot use other signature. He can. In fact, he can sign any way he want to sign. In fact, I told some of my customer that you can draw a fish as long as I and the other witness see you sign, sign as a fish. That fish is also your recognized signature. It doesn't matter, you must sign the signature that you used to sign. So the most important part in the signing of a will is that the two witnesses must see, confirm that the testator signed the will willingly, not under duress, okay, and in front of him and together with the will writer if there is. So that way the will will be valid under the law, despite the fact that the signature is a different one. Okay.
Okay. So how about like this? Is that a must? The two witnesses and the testator must sign together in the same time and in the same table, or they can be signed the will separately. There, I sign in this place and then you sign in that place, or different time, or what?
No. The witness must sign together with the testator same time. Okay. In fact, should be signed on the same table. Let me quote you a case that happened in Malacca, which is actually featured in the Chinese press. You know, there was an uncle who has written a will, okay, and everything he has all give to the youngest son, the adopted son, okay. So when he passed away, the other children came back from Canada and New Zealand, all came back, and they saw the will. After the funeral over, they saw the will that everything is going to the younger son, which is the adopted brother. So they were not happy with the distribution. How can everything go to you, you know? And they went to see a lawyer in Malacca, and the lawyer in the Malacca said, yeah, this will is in order because it has two witnesses signed there, and what do you call that? The distribution has to be followed. And the two brothers one from what do you call that? OC came back. The one said that this is not the correct distribution. We need to seek further second opinion. And he came to our rock will, and we recommend one of the panel lawyers to go to look at this case. And apparently, what Miss Ling wants our lawyer here is to go to the court and bring the two witnesses to the court. And in the court hearing, the first question that Miss Ling asked is, the two witnesses are actually the staff, two Malay staff, you know, and ask the first Malay staff, when you sign this will, do you see uncle? How can you describe to me how uncle look like? Whether it's a botak one or very dark one or big size one or small size. The first Malay girl dare not answer because she has Quran, you know, put her hand on the Quran. And then come to the second girl. The second girl also dare not say anything, cannot describe the look of the testator. So finally they confess and say that they actually signed the will in front at her table, meaning to say the boss took the will and come into the room, you know, the staff room there, and on her table she signed. and then the other staff also sign. So in this way, the the witness did not see the testator signing. In fact, under the Probate Administration Act, this will is not valid. Okay, so that's why when you go for court case, sometimes it's not that it looks okay when there's signature there, but how was it documented? That's very important. That's why in this case, the will is null and void. However, the brother, those from overseas know that if we do not have this will, then we need to follow the Distribution Act. And when if we were to follow the Distribution Act, then it will take a long time, and they could not afford to stay in Malaysia for so long. So finally, I understand from the newspaper that they print out and say that they have a settlement, meaning to say that they let the will go through, and once the asset that the brother received have to transfer back to the other brothers. You know, that is the what do you call that? Arrangement.
Okay. So, talk about the witness. What is the legal age for a person to be a witness in a will?
The legal age for a witness is 18 years old. He must be at least 18 years old in order to be a witness. And
Yeah. So other than 18 years old, what is the criteria to be a witness? Can it be the beneficiaries or what, or what is called that? Anyone or neighbors or friend or teacher? What is the criteria?
the criteria for being a witness, he must be firstly 18 years old, and second thing, he or she cannot be the beneficiary in the will. Okay, cannot be the beneficiary in the will, and also he or she cannot be the spouse of the beneficiary in the will. Okay, let me share with you another interesting story that when I was doing my road show at the Leisure Mall, and one Madam Chan came to me and said that, Mr. Chong, I have written my will. You know, I have written my will, and my will is very simple. I just have one house, okay, and I got 2 witnesses sign, and everything is in order. But I do not need your service. Can you go through and look at this will whether it's valid? So I look at the will. It's only 1 page. It's written there. I, Madam Chan of Taman Connaught Road Jalan, give my house known at 47 to my 3 sons in crochet. Okay, and there was a signature by her, and together below will be 2 witnesses. So I asked her, I said, Madam, who teach you to write this will? You know, Madam replied, oh, you never listened to the Kaupa part one, I think. I said, no. You know, there was a DJ, you know, who in the Kaupa part, you know, explained to us how to write a will. You do not need a lawyer. You can just write your will and then put 2 witnesses there. That's the most important, and sign with 2 witnesses. Then the will is valid already. Then I look at Madam. I said, Madam, for your information, this is not a will. 呢個叫做遺書啊。When I say 遺書，其實我未死得咧。So I say 你嘅遺囑有大問題啊。第一咧 ，what I see here is you don't have any appointment of executor. You know. Then the moment when I say that, she said, oh, my son is already 40 over years old. He can execute the estate. I say if you don't have his appointment in the will, then he need to, what they call that, find guarantor, because he is not appointed by you. Okay. So the other thing here is this will, there is a distribution. Okay. You're talking about a house. Yes, it's good. How about the rest of your estate? Oh, 我冇嘢咗，我冇嘢咗. I say whether 有嘢冇嘢都好, you have to put in another paragraph called the rest of my estate, because you are writing from the head to the toe. So in this situation,你講到呢度啫，下邊嗰啲嘢俾邊個? So even though you have nothing, you have to put in a paragraph say the rest of my estate. Okay. Then finally, I asked her, who are these 2 witnesses? She told me, 呢個咪係大新抱咯，呢個咪細新抱咯。I said, oh my God, 你個 DJ 冇同你講 witness 唔可以做witness 嘅老婆或老公 cannot be the, I mean, beneficiary, the logo or logo cannot be the witness, man. She said, no, the DJ never mentioned about this part. I say, you please ask your DJ, call me, let me teach him a little bit on the Will Act. You know, beneficiary or the spouse of beneficiary cannot be witness. So in this case, I think your will is not valid at all. And the worst deal is, it's still valid, but just that the first son and the second son, third son portion is disqualified. Only the second son will get the property. So finally, I told madam, I say, 呢啲女你慳唔到㗎啦，都係俾我幫你做啦，做好好嚟。At least 你有一個 peace of mind. So finally, she become my what they call that my customer. So normally, we have to very careful on the signing of the will, especially on the selection of the witness. I saw a question here that witness is brother to testator and father to beneficiary. Is it okay? Yes, yes. As long as it's not the spouse, brother, uncle, father, all can. No problem. Okay, thank you.
All right, okay. So another question is, if a will is written in English, okay, and the testator does not understand English, all right, so must there be a translator mentioned in the will?
When there is a will and the person doesn't know
does not understand English, yeah.
Doesn't know English. So it's very important that if a person do not know English, they need a translator. They need a translator because this document is the wishes of the testator, but the testator doesn't know what is written there. So definitely this will is exposed to be challenged in the court. So when you write a will in any languages, make sure that there is a translator if the testator is not fluent in that particular language.
Okay, all right. And then another one is, in Malaysia, can a will be written in Chinese?
Yes, you can, but the question here is, because when you apply grant of probate, the official language is either English or Bahasa. So if you were to send in a will that is written in Chinese or Mandarin, and the court, when they receive this grant of probate application, they will ask the court translator to translate it properly. When you have this sort of situation, then two things will happen. Firstly, it's very costly, you know, because the translator will be charging you what fee, okay, what fee they are charging. And second thing also, because the translator is not the what they call that, professional or very good or have good knowledge in estate planning or will and trust, so they might interpret wrongly or whatever. Okay, so you have that risk if you were to use a translator at the court. Okay, so to prevent that, it's better you write a will in Bahasa or English as far as Malaysia is concerned. And if the person do not know English or Bahasa, then write a separate will in Mandarin for that guy, the person to understand. But that will should not be signed. Only the official one in English or Bahasa can be signed. Okay.
Okay, all right. All right, so come to the last question. He said, how to do a charity donation in a will?
Charity donation in a will means this person want to do some charity via the
will. Yes, correct. In the future.
Okay. In fact, to do charity via a will, this is getting more common in the nowadays, especially in my age. When I see customers, many of them do have donation in their will. Okay, and how to go about putting donation in a will? There are two ways. Either you can do it on a one lump sum. For example, many customers I see will say, okay, when I pass on, just donate, say 20,000 to the church, you know, whichever church. Or the other way we'll be doing is create a charity trust fund in the will. Meaning to say, you can allocate 100,000 or whatever amount, and then instruct the trustee to pay from the trust fund every month or quarterly or every year to the charity. So that in that case, it will be a charity trust fund, and until the whole sum is all finished. So this is a better way, because what we understand, to do charity is not to do once, you can do as frequently as possible. That will be good. So instead of doing one lump sum, I would like to advise customer that it's better you have a have a charity trust fund inbuilt in the will, say instructing the what they call that, the trustee to pay or to donate on a monthly periodic basis on a certain amount until that charity fund is finished. And this charity trust fund, the source of this charity trust fund can be coming from the movable asset, like your money in the bank, or sell some of your unit trust or Pusa share investment, as and when the funds get lower, okay. And the other method will be using the rental income from certain property to do the donation. And when the charity trust fund is nearing exhaustion, say for example less than 50,000 or whatever, then the trustee will be obligated to sell a property, or to sell some share, or to sell some investment, those liquid asset investment like the stock market share or unit trust, to replenish the fund in the trust fund. So that is how charity can be done through a will via either a lump sum or a charity trust fund. Okay.
Okay, all right. So why not, like today we ask Mr. Chong to give us a sharing on some story, a case study.
Okay. What is the case study about?
We're talking about an uncle with the 2 children. Okay. How about a single man? Okay, it's 30 years old. All right. With 2 elderly parents. All right. They are about 60 or 70s. Okay. So how to draft a functional will for them?
I see. You're talking about testator, about 30 years old.
Yeah.
Single, and he has 2 elderly parents that need to take care, and how his will should be drafted in order to benefit the parents and make it a functional will. Yes.
Yeah, correct.
Okay. If this is a situation, I think the first thing here will be we will look at all the movable asset this guy has. For example, his cash in bank, his investment, his share, stock market share, or his EPF, whatever. All these liquid asset, I would recommend to go straight to a family trust fund. Okay, family trust fund meaning to be in the pool fund for the parents, because when he is no more around, the parents has to be taken care of via a testamentary trust, so that the parent can use these testamentary trust funds for the maintenance and medical expenses they might need. Because elderly parents may need higher medical expenses or than normal people. Okay, so it will be a good pool fund there, a family trust fund for the parents. And the purpose of this pool fund is for the maintenance and the medical of the parents. Okay, and this trust fund will end until the exhaustion or the demise of both parents. Okay, so on the other hand, for his property that he might have, maybe because he's quite young, maybe he has 1 condominium that he bought. Okay, for the property wise, I would think that he should form a property trust as well. And the reason why I say property trust is because when you hold on the property trust, there will be rental income, if there is, for the parents to spend. It means you will transfer the what they call the rental income to the family trust fund for the parents to use. And if the house is no renter, then the parents can use it. Okay, so in this way, the parents will be having sufficient funding, you know. And also we will put also additional condition that in case he has 2 property or whatever, in case the family trust fund insufficient, then he can instruct the trustee to sell the property, and the money will go back to the family trust fund. Okay, so in this situation for the young man, I suppose he would have bought some insurance. You will have bought some insurance, you know, for the parents. In case he has insurance for the parents, I would recommend him to do an absolute assignment to Rockville, a trustee company, to do an insurance trust, so that when he passes away, the money don't go to the parents direct. You know, they are so old, and when they hold a big sum of insurance money, they might not be able to cope with it. So it's better to do an insurance trust with Rockville, and when he dies, the insurance money will be collected by Rockville, and from there, Rockville will transfer those money into the family trust fund that he has set up in the will, and that would be a better, because if he were to name the parents to be the beneficiary for the insurance policy, as I always say that, when the parents, when he passed away, most likely the parents might not be staying in the condominium. The parent may be staying in the crocodile farm, because the parents is getting 600,000 or $1 million richer. There will be some crocodile come and borrow money. That's for sure. It's real life. So in order to prevent crocodile from borrowing money from the parents, so it's better to do an insurance trust. Even though if there is no crocodile come and borrow money from the parents who are elderly might go off later. At least the balance of the insurance money can be siphoned back to the family trust fund, to use, so that 100% will be utilized rather than stuck with the parents when the parents pass away without a will. So this is a very simple structure for a young man who has parents to take care. Okay, and what he needs is just 2 basic family trust fund, means the testamentary trust fund and the property trust fund, together with insurance trust if he has insurance policy. Okay, and also side by side here, and also create a declaration of trust for, in case he doesn't have insurance policy, a declaration of trust for him, so that in case anything happened to him, the insurance, the money in the bank can be used to take care of the immediate, urgent maintenance expenses of the parents when he is no more around. So this is roughly a flow chart, a functional view for a young guy lah. Okay.
So thank you, Mr. Chong. So I want to check with you. This is our last question and last case study lah. So any question from the floor you want to ask Mr. Chong today? Anyone have any question for today? If no, then I wish to say thank you for your participate, and thank you, Mr. Chong, for the 30 minutes view and trust lah.
Thank you. Okay, we will catch up next week again, and hopefully Karin will be back on board, because Karin is not feeling that well. We wish her speedy recovery. Thank you. Have a good weekend. Thank you.